Hello everyone, and today I'm going to be covering some pretty recent news. So recently the trailer for the first Kombat pack in Mortal Kombat 11 came out, and a lot of people have had it's very divisive among people that play Mortal Kombat. Some people hate it, some people love it. I thought I just might as well go, tell my opinion. Now what I plan to do is I'm going to go through each character individually, except from the first two, Shang Tsung and Nightwolf, mostly because they've already came out yet and I actually haven't played as them yet. But yeah, I'm going to go over each individual character, except from the first two obviously, and give my thoughts on them, and if I think they're a good inclusion, if they could play good, their designs, some things I like, some things I hate, and well, we're just going to talk about it. So next up on the roster is the Terminator, which it looks like they got the likeness and voice of Arnold Schwarzenegger, which makes me extremely happy, because unlike most games, they didn't get the license except for wrestling or whatever. It's mostly just been the endoskeleton when you put Terminator as a guest character in the game, but this time they've actually got Arnold's license, which is really great in my opinion. It looks like it could be fun. I hope that there's a cosmetic in the game so he could change it to his Techno-Wow outfit or the Terminator 2 outfit. Because I'm not really a huge fan of the more recent Terminator films, even though this seems like it's based off of that more recent rendition overall. But overall I'm going to give the Terminator its inclusion in Mortal Kombat, I'm going to give him a 4. So next up on our list is Sindel, a returning character from the other Mortal Kombat games, who hasn't been seen since MK9 or Mortal Kombat, whatever you like to call it. So it looks like her default skin is the Revenant skin, which I don't really have a big problem with. I do really like her new Revenant design. But in my opinion, in Mortal Kombat X, her design in that game, she looked a lot like a stripper. But whatever, I like her design so far. I'm not really the biggest Sindel fan, really. I just saw her more as another female character to add to the game, really. But hopefully she could have a good story, a good voice actress. But overall, I'm going to give her, I'd say a 3 so far. I could already hear people sharpening their weapons about this, but next on the roster is the Joker. In my opinion, I feel like the only person on the planet that's actually really excited for this character, because out of all the DC characters or comic book characters to add to Mortal Kombat, the Joker seems pretty prime, unless you have characters like Lobo or Killer Croc, but really Joker's the more marketable character, and really not a lot of quote-unquote regulars to a pop culture are really gonna know who Lobo or Killer Croc are. And honestly, I'm really excited to see some of his moves and mainly his fatalities, really, because the Joker's done a lot of twisted things in the comics that could be translated well into a fighting game properly, unlike Injustice or a Mortal Kombat vs DC. And we've got the biggest elephant in the room so far, his design. Alright, I'm a huge Joker fan, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna say it right here. His design looks awful. He looks less like the Joker and more like a teenager going to a Halloween party dressed up as the Joker, or like an action figure or something. He just doesn't look real. He looks like he needs to be aged up a bit, and his face, when you see him smile, his smile looks much better when his teeth are showing, but when his mouth is closed, it looks less happy. It looks more sadistic and less happy is what I meant. And honestly, his design, hopefully it'll grow on me, and hopefully when it actually gets released, he'll have a much better main base design. But if not, I'm definitely probably going to pick a different skin for him. So finally on our list of characters is Spawn, which is a character most people have been wanting since the Injustice 1 era. And honestly, I really like Spawn's design. It looks very great. Very accurate, of course, to the source material, and less like the film, which I'm kind of glad. Even though the film's design didn't look that terrible, it's just this version, in my opinion, looks really great. You can sort of see his face doesn't have a normal structure to it. It has sort of a skeleton-esque vibe like a skeleton wearing a mask, which I think is a great addition to Spawn. And hopefully we can get some extra things to add to him, like his the medieval design, or maybe even the Venom-esque like mouth and the giant sword that he's had in the more recent era. And I'm actually really happy that they've included his cape for once, because back when Spawn had his own games on like the PS1, in like Soul Calibur and like in his own game on the PS2, they excluded the cape probably because they didn't have the technology to really pull it off properly, because similar to Doctor Strange's cape has its own sort of mind to it, like it has a mind of its own, so it's not just like a thing that drapes over his shoulders, it's more like a living entity. And obviously now that we have the technology to do things like that, I think his cape's going to be pulled off well, and hopefully they can use it to maybe give him weapons like his battle axe, or maybe even spawn some guns. So overall, Spawn, I forgot to give Joker a rating before, but I'm going to give him a 3.5, but Spawn overall, I'm going to give him a 5. Now, there's one big complaint I have to this combat pack. The release dates are awful. It's just, they seem so far apart, and it looks like they're well really into the development of these characters, that they got their models and seems like voice actors down. They're probably just tweaking the gameplay at this point. So when you've got Spawn almost 90% completed, why should it come out almost 7 months from now, when really, statistically, it should probably come out near Sindel's release date, which is November. But like, think about it, if this was back in Mortal Kombat X's time, like lifespan, the Kombat Pack 2 would have been at least like a couple of weeks older at the time Spawn comes out, honestly. And which is really disappointing to see that the game's probably going to be dead by the time Spawn comes out. But hopefully I'm completely wrong, and when Spawn comes out it gives the game some extra life, and hopefully it sort of brings it back from the dead, which I really don't want to happen considering Mortal Kombat's such a good game, and I might do some live streams on it someday, but yeah. So overall, that was my opinion on the combat pack. I'm happy with it overall. I'm surprised, but I'm not disappointed, because a lot of people were expecting Ash Williams, and in my opinion, Ash Williams would have been amazing in the game. And hopefully, we're gonna get him in a Combat Pack 2 for late 2021. But anyway, it's a great DLC so far. It's more reminiscent of the Injustice 2 types of DLCs, where it isn't just like sci-fi horror like it was in MKX, where you have like Jason horror, Predator sci-fi, Alien sci-fi, Leatherface horror. It's much more variety, like you've got 2 comic book characters and a sci-fi character in there, which I think is really cool. And well, that's the end of the video.